Good evening and welcome to Warrior TV. My name's Adam Duval, aka the Mental Health Warrior, and I feel a bit jet lagged today. I really do, because this morning I was in Australia and now I'm in America. This is why I had to have this background tonight. I had to, with all that walking I've been doing. But either way, I've broken the record in the fastest time I've travelled from Australia to America. No, I'm not looking at them. But tonight we have got a brilliant guest. He's one half of the, well, you must remember him from the Couples podcast, when it was me and my beautiful wife, Kerry, with Lorraine Harris. And I got it right. It took Lorraine about 2,000 times attempt to say his last name. It took me 2. So it's Brian Rzepcynski. So all I've got to say is I will see you in 30 seconds. Hello.
Hi. How are you, Adam?
Welcome. Jet lagged. No, I'm all right. And Lorraine is actually tuning in, as he said he would. He put, "Good evening, mate. You are breaking up, Adam." Am I breaking up?
Yeah, the audio does seem a little crackly.
I'm sure we'll work on it. You know what Facebook's like. It has its own feelings. So you know what, for Lorraine, I think with your guest is cute. Oh, for God's sake, here we go. You know what? Things are going to get crazy tonight.
Gonna get crazy.
So,
well, thank you for having me.
Yes, you're most welcome. Now, first of all, I've got to say, how do you feel from being in the Couples podcast to doing it one-on-one?
It's a very different experience.
Okay.
My husband and I, we do really well co-piloting together, and I feel his presence right now, actually.
Literally? It's not at the door, is it?
He very well could be.
Lorraine, privacy. Come on, privacy.
That's all good. He's a super fan. We both are.
He is. We've got my wife, literally right above me. She's tuned in. She's saying hi, guys. We've got Robert Brooker. He's saying hi, Adam and Brian and Lorraine. And now hi, Kerry. Lorraine is having a conversation with Robert, saying how are things in Canada. So yes, I've got my cat playing in the kitchen. So yeah, things are crazy.
Well, it is Friday here in the States after all. It's Friday where you are too.
It's Friday evening where I am.
Yes, you're ready for your day to be over.
I know, and Lorraine, all I've got to say is please don't get jealous knowing the fact that Brian's got a candle going and I've got a nice wax melt next to me. So,
gotta set the stage.
Gotta set the stage, yes. So, I'm going to start with, who is Brian?
Well, hello, everybody. My name is Brian Rzepcynski, and I am a social worker in Illinois in the United States. And I live just outside of Chicago in the suburbs. And I'm married to Lauren Michaels Harris, which you probably saw us a couple of weeks back on Adam and Carrie's show here too. That was a very fun experience. And yeah, I work as a social worker. I have a private practice where I do psychotherapy with adults mostly, and I specialize in relationships, sex therapy, and I work with the LGBT, but I also work just pretty much with everybody: depression, anxiety, addictions, the whole gamut. But those first three that I mentioned are my favorites.
Absolutely. And yes, Kerry, we do need to do it again with Brian and Lauren, the couples. Absolutely. I'm open to that. Are you?
It was a blast.
Lauren? Lauren's sharing again. Here we go. See, he's jumped out. It is. I think it is jealousy.
I think so.
Lauren, want an input?
I told him he could come on with me.
Did you?
I did. He's a busy boy. He's got a lot going on today.
Oh, yeah, he's probably on TikTok to pausing for the camera, maybe.
That sounds like him. You know him very well.
I don't. He's headed to the grocery store.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah, what are we picking up? I'm joking. Right. So I want to talk about how you were growing up. Like, what inspired you growing up?
Well, I was raised in Kalamazoo, Michigan, in the United States, and I'm the oldest of two. And I had pretty, just kind of typical average childhood growing up. My mom was a stay-at-home mom, and dad worked full-time. And it pretty much, I had really absolutely no idea what I wanted to do when I grew up. I wanted to be an actor at first, and then I wanted to be a writer. And my parents convinced me to go to college because those types of careers I could do, but they also felt I needed something to fall back on in case that didn't work out. So I went to college, and I kind of decided that I wanted to kind of help people. I remember growing up that people would always come to me with their problems, and I've just always just had this knack for being a good listener, and I love helping people. And so I ended up getting into the social work track. I got my degree. There was another inspiration that really kind of helped me figure out what kind of niche I wanted to practice in. And do you know who Dr. Ruth Westheimer is?
No.
Okay. She's a sex therapist, and she was back in the 80s, I think it was. She had a radio show that was one of the first of its kind. Here in the States, sex is, I don't believe, as permissive as it is in Europe. So it was very taboo. And so it was a really big deal for her to be having a radio show. And I just absolutely loved it. It was very popular. And I think that for me, the desire to do sex therapy and my interest in sexuality came from my being a gay man. I think that, as I think back on it, growing up, I knew from a very, very young age that I was gay. But growing up in the 70s and 80s, back then, it was definitely not as acceptable to be gay as it is nowadays. So I really just kind of kept that secret to myself that whole time. And I really actually didn't come out to myself and others until I was well into my mid to late 20s.
Wow.
And I think just the fact that I kind of kept my sexuality blocked for as long as I did really created just a lot of interest in it for me. So I was always just kind of studying and reading about it. And then Dr. Ruth came along, and I just was like, God, I want to do that when I grow up. And so as time has gone on, when I first graduated from college and I started my practice, I worked a lot with children at first. And then I eventually kind of started moving more towards working with adults and relationship issues. I went to school to get my doctorate degree in human sexuality. And ever since then, I've just really been very much focused on just helping couples, individuals with relationship issues, sexuality, and then the LGBT community as well. So I really love what I do.
Brilliant. Now, I want to go back to, because you picked up a good one, sex therapist. Now, for the viewers, some people are going to think, well, sex therapist, it's just talking about sex. But that's not really true, is it?
No, sex is really only just one piece of the puzzle. Oftentimes, when people come to therapy for sexual issues, the sexual issue is oftentimes more of a manifestation or a symptom of underlying issues that are going on in the person's life and or relationship.
Yeah.
And so a lot of the work that we do in sexuality counseling is not only addressing the sexual behavior, but it's really trying to get at what's going on underneath that's causing that symptom to begin with, and just really working on healing all the different parts that, are leading to that issue.
Right. Please don't read me.
Oh no, I'm keeping my analyst cap off. It's okay.
Uh-oh. Should I be scared? No, Loren's going grocery store for water.
Oh, okay. We do need water.
Yes. And then obviously Robert Brookie put, he still remembers that moment. I don't know, I'm just going to put it up because he knows how to talk. There you go, he's put that.
Right. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of pressure back then to really decide who you are and what you're going to do. And at that age.
Exactly. Well, in some parts of the world, that stigma still holds for gay people.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. The LGBT. So, well, they're just adding letters now, aren't they?
Right. I mean, there are some countries where you could be killed for being out as a gay person.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yes. Now, I want to know, why do people keep getting bullied for being gay, bisexual, trans? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. In my opinion, I think that people are threatened by anything that's different than them, and it's that kind of ignorance that then just breeds a lot of hate and anxiety. And so bullying is kind of an expression of that, just disgust for anything different. And I think that the more exposure people get to people of diversity, then that threat that I was describing tends to diminish at that point. So like the more gay people that for example, the more you can see that we're just like everybody else. There's nothing.
Exactly.
We're not gonna give you cooties if we touch you.
Exactly. Now, obviously, growing up, you would have had all that anxiety, into coming out. So, what? I'm trying to think of the word now. What encouraged, because you encouraged yourself to come out as gay when you was mid-20s, but where did you find that confidence? And that's obviously for the viewers that probably are gay, but they haven't come out.
Right. Yeah, for me, I think it was a very long journey. I think for me, it was partly seeing more and more people coming out that made it a little bit easier to be able to take that step. Yes. And I dated women in my early 20s, and it never felt right. And anytime a relationship would start getting serious, I started feeling bad because I knew it just didn't feel right for me, and I didn't want to hurt the women that I was dating. So I went through a series of dating relationships and would always just kind of terminate it when it started getting a little too serious. And because I just knew, that that really wasn't me, but I was just really afraid to live my life in accordance with what my real sexual orientation was. And I think really for me, it just got to the point where I was just so tired of living inauthentically and having to hide and keep secrets and lead a double life that I was just like, you know what, I'm just going to do it. I'm going to come out. And if I lose people in my life, then that's just going to have to be what it is, because I can't, it's too excruciating living, not living who I really am.
Absolutely. Did you have a support network around you when you came out? Like your family, friends?
I came out to my best friend first.
Okay.
And that was a very positive experience. And then I came out to my brother, which was a positive experience. And then I was like, okay, mom and dad are next. And so thankfully, I never really had any sort of negative reaction. It took my family a little bit of time to come to terms with it.
Yeah.
And, anytime somebody comes out as LGBT, families also then go through their own kind of coming out journey in a sense, because who they thought I was no longer matched who they thought they had raised, for example, all this time. So it's a big worldview shift that they have to go through.
Yeah, and in a way that actually frustrates me because obviously, like I don't have parents in my life, thank God, because they're abusers, they're toxic. But they always want that child that they want to look like and act like. But really, we're on our own identity, and if we feel comfortable being gay, bi, whatever, go ahead.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Absolutely. And like Robert's just put, hey, that can happen no matter what one's sexual identity is. Sometimes you meet one of those people that are here to balance the universe and humanity, meaning that there is no way in hell you will be able to be friends with this person, but a mutual respect is always possible. Absolutely.
I love that. Yes.
So do I.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Yeah, I'm getting a little bit open with my coffee now. That's why I'm like that. Not because I'm going to throw up, no. Takes a lot for me to throw up anyway. But anyway. So, yeah, I'm glad that. So, like, I'm getting this sense, and I don't know where these senses come from, but I'm sensing that through the education, you got bullied.
Yeah, when I was growing up, I was teased for I'm a very short guy actually. I'm only 5'4", so I was always the shortest kid in school. So I was often teased for that, but then I was a little bit on the effeminate side. So sometimes I would get teased for being they would call me a sissy. I don't think that I was bullied to the extent that a lot of other kids that I have seen have. But it's still, it takes a toll.
It does.
And it affects your self-esteem. And, there's a concept called internalized homophobia.
Mm-hmm.
And when you grow up in a culture that is homophobic, which means fearful of anybody who is LGBT, for, to make it simple, you then as an LGBT person will internalize that hate that society has for you for being different. And so part of being able to come out and become comfortable with who you are is being able to work through internalized homophobia and to kind of realize that so much of what you've been socialized with is frankly just toxic. And it's important to then, kind of purge that and rework it to the fact that what's really most important, as you were saying earlier, is just to be authentic and truly to be who you are. And it's a process. It's like a very big grieving process that you go through until you get to the point where you can just say, you know what, this is me. I'm proud of who I am, and I'm going to live my life the way that I was actually made to be to begin with.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm just looking for a post I actually shared the other day, and this will actually resonate not just with yourself, Brian, but with other people as well. And I've actually found it. It says, when a toxic person can no longer control you, they will try and control how others see you. The misinformation will feel unfair, but stay above it, trusting that other people will eventually see the truth just like you did.
Right. Yeah. That's a very powerful statement.
Yes, it is. It is. And yeah, I've shared it on my post. So yeah, it's there to share. But yeah, you'll probably have to scroll down a little bit. But anyway.
Yeah, I mean, there's power in numbers. So, I think that the more people just, rather than going with what the group says, I would like to be able to see people make their own independent decisions and make their choices according to what their values are. I think sometimes in our socialization process, we tend to just internalize and adopt what our parents or media or society tells us that we should or shouldn't do or be. And in doing so, we then just kind of make our choices on autopilot by those principles.
Yeah. See, with me, I was allowed to get bullied growing up, and now obviously nobody likes it when my harm comes to my kids. Nobody likes it. Not even Kerry. She hates seeing me like that because something just clicks and I change. This could be my trauma. I don't know, but the school noticed that it's trauma. They picked up on that because any harm that comes to my kids, I'm onto it and I'm doing something about it.
Yeah.
So that could be trauma.
It is trauma. It is. It's a form of post-traumatic stress.
Yeah.
And I think for you, it sounds like being able to kind of, when you get triggered like that and you go into that protective dad mode, that's probably very healing for you in a sense too.
It is. But I'm trying to bring Kerry around to the fact that it is trauma, and I just want a little bit of more support regarding that. Now, obviously, she's wonderful. She's been there through thick and thin for me. She saved my life back in 2019, and I'm thanking her enough. I know it's never enough, but yeah, it's support needs to happen.
Yeah, I think when somebody hasn't experienced what someone else has, it can be very difficult for them to be able to put themselves in your shoes. But I think the more educated they become and being very an empathic supportive person, it'll get there.
Of course it will. Time's on our side, as they say. Yes, it is a great conversation, Loren. I think Loren's back from the shops, unless he's got us on while he's in supermarket.
Probably never even left yet.
Are you still in the house, Loren? I may need another coffee.
Right.
Yet again, he's trying to get the cats to do chores.
He is. And that's not ever going to happen.
It's not, is it?
Our cats are divas.
Ooh.
They are.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're spoiled rotten.
Try living with 9 of them. Yeah, it's every day. It's like rock hard place.
Yes.
Yes.
I can imagine.
Absolutely. And yeah, you're right, Robert. Adapt really means rough trade. Okay. Robert, now that PTSD has been mentioned, he was watching Tim Gillette's show when he interviewed Val Huard. She specializes in PTSD where clutter is present. I need to start watching
that. What was that last part about what was present?
Clutter.
Okay. Culture. Mm-hmm.
No, clutter.
Oh, clutter. Yes.
Clutter.
Yes.
Yeah, me and Kerry seem to think that our 8-year-old daughter is a bit of a hoarder. Oh, well. So, yeah. So clearly Loren's a little bit of would you say he's a diva?
I think we both can be at times.
Oh. Okay, but who's a bigger diva though?
He will disagree with me, but I'm going to say him.
Well, like I said, guys, things are going to get crazy, and I think they've just started. But yeah, I think you're going to have that discussion all night now.
Yeah, I think you may have gotten me in trouble. Thanks, Adam.
That's what I do. That's what I do. But I love everyone. I do. I love them all. Yeah. So where do I go? Like, you wanted to help people. So, like, what inspired you with all the bullying you've experienced, with all the challenges of the coming out as gay and LGBTQ? What, as many letters as you want to add on to it. So, yeah, what inspired you to come forward and say, I want to help people?
Well, I think when I was, to be perfectly honest, when I was a lot younger, I loved gossip. So if anybody on the street, had some stuff going on, I wanted to hear about it.
Okay.
And with that, I just started realizing that, when I was hearing all the gossip, then I would actually try to help the people that were going through struggles or issues. And I found that I was really, good at it, and I loved it. And that just kind of then led to more and more interest in psychology. And yeah, so I just, there's nothing more rewarding to me. I look forward to getting up every day to go to work, because I know that I'm hoping that I'm going to be able to help make some sort of an impact with people. And when I do see people have made some sort of a transformation, it's just, there's nothing better. That's the best gift ever.
It is. Yeah, we've realised, obviously, since we'll get on to you how you've coped with all what's going on the last 19, 20 months. I've lost count how long this has been going on for. But yeah, we've noticed that the mental health warriors have been hell of a busy. We've been busy. So yeah. So how have you coped? How did your mind adapt to it when the news podcasts or media, whatever you've got over there, say, right, lockdown?
For me, it wasn't too traumatic of a thing, because I'm more of a shy introvert type. So this kind of a situation actually boded really well for me.
You shy? Really?
Yes.
I think Lorraine will disagree.
I'm pretty good one-on-one. In a group situation, I tend to just get a little bit more quiet. And once I get to know people, then I come out of my shell more. But yeah, so it actually, it was okay, but it was kind of like what you were saying before too. I think with the pandemic, the mental health issues have really, what I think what's kind of a benefit, I don't want to say benefit, but what's something good that has come from the pandemic is that I think there's become more and more awareness about mental health needs.
Yes.
There is not a therapist that I know right now that doesn't have huge waiting lists right now, because more and more people are accessing services to get help. I think the pandemic really brought out the need for community, and the isolation due to quarantines, I think, really had just a very intense, major impact on individuals. I think for couples who were kind of trapped in the home together all of the time, if there were already underlying issues, it kind of complicated things even more, and it was rough. So one of the great things I think about the another good thing to come from the pandemic is that, at least for counselors, we now, in a very quick, abrupt way, we had to transition from seeing clients in the office face to face to now doing it on the telephone and on video. So telehealth has really taken over now. I'm still seeing my clients just on telehealth right now, and I find it to be very, very convenient, and I think it's more accessible for a lot of people who maybe in the past didn't have the access to go see a counselor. Because now they don't have to worry about transportation. They can pop on the computer screen whenever it's convenient for them with their schedules. I don't have to commute back and forth to my office. I can see people with a nice shirt on and my pajama bottoms underneath, and nobody knows the difference. That I love.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's all right, because I'm sat here in a shirt and a pair of shorts on, so there you go. There you go. I think I've been like that all day. I don't know. Who cares? Who cares?
It's a real advantage, and nobody knows the better.
Exactly. Now, obviously, I want to touch on all this lockdown because obviously we're luckily UK is not in lockdown yet. We think one's coming. We do. But obviously, I've been with Kerry almost 13 years now. No wonder I'm losing my hair. But anyway, that's a different conversation.
You guys are wonderful. I think you have such a great chemistry.
We've had our moments. She's wanted to kill me. I've wanted to kill her, but ayo. Anyway, before we start triggering people, because we don't want to do that. Yeah, obviously we've been together 13 years. Obviously before lockdown happened, so it was only 12 years. Yes, I am cheeky, Kerry, but you love me. Yeah, you have to question how much do you actually know your partner? Now, obviously, I know we did that as a game show, but it's in reality, how much do you actually know your partner? Because she kept things from me hidden. I did the same. And we actually thought we were going to break. We actually took the steps where I was going to move out. I was getting my own place. I'm probably going to take one of the kids. I don't know. But we sat down one night, ordered a takeaway, and we sat there for hours and hours and hours. And we actually got to know each other even more. That's after 12 years.
Mm-hmm.
So was that similar to what you and Lorraine was like?
I don't know that our relationship necessarily changed all that much because we still maintained the routines and date nights and all of that stuff even before the pandemic hit and the quarantine. So it wasn't really that much of an adjustment per se. We love being together, and what's good about it is that my office is now way upstairs and his is like way down the basement, and so now we have a
oh, come on, Brian.
So we have some separation, so it's good. So it's not 24/7 together like this all the time, which I think it's important to have some separation.
Yeah.
But we've just found a way to make it work, and we complement each other very well, and but I think that you're right. I think that the quarantine, especially with couples, for some people, it created even more conflict because there was no escape. You were trapped with each other. And then for other people, it provided an opportunity to really, really get to know each other on a deeper, more intimate level than ever before. I think before we were so used to just being so go, 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 hectic, hectic, run around, do this, do that. But the quarantine kind of forced us to really get comfortable with being alone with ourselves and with our families, and to really communicate and get to know each other on these deeper levels that I think for a lot of people too, it's actually enriched relationships too.
Yeah. Did you find time to actually sit and get to know yourself, like look into your really inner self?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, as an introvert, I'm always internal anyway. So I in fact I think maybe think too much. But yeah, I think that I don't know how anybody could not kind of have changed from this experience, and to really get to know themselves in a different way, and how they cope with adversity, how they interact and get along with other people, and what that means. And I think a lot of people also learn how difficult it can be to be alone with yourself.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, like obviously Kerry put, she thinks what affected us was we sometimes let the date night disappear and we didn't spend time as a couple.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was forever on a podcast or wanting just me time. So and that was actually my fault, because I never balanced it. But now I've got a team behind me. We're balancing perfectly. The only people that stop us having date night now is the bloody kids.
Well, when you have 9 kids, that's very challenging.
9 kids. We've got 2 kids.
Oh, 2. Oh, and the pets.
Oh, but if you want to involve the cats as well, you're talking about 11.
Yeah.
But around Christmas, I am a kid.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Now, I want to set the record straight here, the debate. When you're in a toy shop, yeah, when you see a toy saying try me or press me, do you just walk past it or do you have to press it?
You have to press it.
Thank you. Does Lauren do the same?
Oh, yes. In fact, he probably would do that more than I would. But yeah.
See, I remember, and this was a long time ago, when our son, it was his first birthday. And obviously we went to a Toys R Us when it was.
I know. I miss Toys R Us.
Yeah, well, we went to it was one of the big ones in our I won't say local town, but it was a Bolton one because that's our nearest one. And there's I think we're about 24 aisles, and Kerry, Lucas, and her mother, obviously, perfectly filled 2 trolleys. I don't know why they had to have 2 trolleys for a child for first Christmas and birthday. And me and Kerry's dad, we was literally, by the time they finished, paid, everything like that, we were still on the 3rd aisle.
That's it?
3rd aisle, pressing all the try me buttons. Because we were doing them all. Like Kerry put, you're not supposed to set the whole shelf off. That's what we did.
How many hours were you in there?
Kerry, can you answer that one? How many hours were we in there? Because I can't remember. I can't remember last week.
I can understand both your positions on that. I can appreciate the appeal of wanting to push all those things. But I can also appreciate Carrie's like, let's get out of here already.
She only wanted to get out because she was sick. She had to walk away from us. We did annoy some staff members in there, though. Yeah. See, I remember Kerry was having a catch up with one of her friends. They dragged us out when we got to aisle 4. They literally dragged us out.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
But anyway, I remember one day where we went. Kerry had a catch up with one of her friends. I ended up going upstairs just to have a look, and I seen all these like trains, planes, or whatever cars, and there was some press me buttons. I had to. I couldn't help it. Yeah, it annoyed her though. It annoyed Kerry's friend. I didn't care. But
if you've got 20 different stuffed animals singing different things, I guess that could get a little
No, I did 20 that sung the same song.
Oh.
But the thing is though, if the front one didn't work, I went to the ones at the back.
Well, that's something that can be said for you is you have a good inner child still inside you.
Exactly. You have to, don't you? Come on, come on. As the saying goes, if we're all the same, what kind of world are we living in?
That's right. And playful is good.
Exactly.
And
yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that because I actually did a question on my post today. Would you rather know someone? I can't remember what the question was now. Something about would you rather know someone that can help you grow or someone you can have fun with? And I'm getting majority of the answers saying both.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, fun is kind of temporary and fleeting. Growth is a progression towards, striving and reaching a person's potential. So but both are important because you got to laugh, you got to have fun and enjoy life to the fullest. But then we also want to keep becoming our true selves and reach that potential.
Yes. Yeah, I am a big child, Kerry. Oh, well. What you see is what you get. So I'm going to ask, what does mental health mean to you?
Oh, good question. Mental health to me means having the whole person in regards to mental, emotional, physical, spiritual, social, sexual, all those different aspects that make us who we are in as much balance as possible. So it's like wellness, it's kind of wellness oriented. And if any of those kind of not quadrants, if any of those segments that make that whole have any sort of disruption or injury in some respects, it's about finding ways to help heal and bring that more into wholeness again.
I agree.
That's kind of how I view it.
I agree, absolutely. Because I'm getting a lot of people saying mental health is our mindset that controls the way we think, act, and behave, which is true. Mm-hmm. I'm getting others saying, well, mental health is health. It can be all sorts. It could be spiritual health, physical health, psychological health. It's just health, which it is.
Right. And then they all interact with each other too. And so it's just, yeah.
Yeah, and if you put those tools together, it can break that vicious cycle people get trapped in, which I'm guilty. I've been trapped in there.
Mm-hmm. And we have to feed all those different parts to contribute to the functioning of that whole.
Yes. And toxicity can actually help in some way.
Mm-hmm. How so?
How so? Because as one of our good friends, Karen Unruh, says, we need shit in our lives for us to grow.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Something that I often tell clients is that you can't grow without conflict. So without challenges and muck getting thrown into our lives, we're stagnant. And we just we've reached a plateau, and life is about continuing to grow and strive towards that potential, like we said earlier. And I agree. So, having some conflict and drama and stuff like that helps us learn who we are, and it helps us learn how to just keep growing.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So either way, fair enough, we're all humans. Some may be robots, I don't know. But either way, we're all just seeds. And when we're planted in that shit, which obviously that's what compost is made out of.
Yes.
We grow. Love, support, sunlight, happy days. We're growing into beautiful tulips, flower, whatever you want to call it.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, I'm just trying to get Kerry back into the nature, which is a struggle.
Outdoors is important.
Try telling her that. But all I've got to say is thank you for coming on.
Well, thank you for having me. I've appreciated it. It's been a lot of fun.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, yeah, this is Brian Rzepcynski. It took me 2 attempts, so thank you, Lauren. It took you 2000. Well, was it 2000, he said?
The 2000?
It took me twice, second attempt to actually get it right. Has Lauren got it right yet?
You did. You got it. You spot on this time.
I know. I don't know about Lauren, though. I think he still makes mistakes, doesn't he?
Oh, yeah, he does.
Lauren.
He still doesn't know how to spell it, but he's getting there.
I still have to look to spell it.
Yeah. Brian's good.
Where has that surname come from?
It's Polish.
Polish, right. There you go. I've learned something new now.
Yep.
So, yes, all I've got to say is thank you all for coming on. Please share the hell out of this. And this ain't over because we're back tomorrow. Not me. But we are back tomorrow, Saturday's podcast, where good luck to our creative warrior, Dorota Chiama, who is also Polish. She'll be co-hosting with our Rainbow Warrior, Caroline Bennis, and they're going to be interviewing another Caroline. So good luck to Dorota with 2 Carolines. So please share this, and if anyone wants to come on in supporting what we do, please get in touch. You're most welcome to make a donation. It all goes to a good cause. And please subscribe to our channel in awareness. Yes, Kerry, we do need to get Brian and Lorraine booked in for another couples chat. That probably ain't going to happen until probably next year now. I don't know. But who knows?
That'd be my guess.
What was that?
That'd be my guess with Lauren's busy schedule right now.
It'll probably be next year now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm going to end this now. Cheerio.
Bye.